All right, looks like we are live on both Facebook and YouTube, so we'll give it just a minute for some people to join us. All right, we'll go ahead and get started, and as people join, hopefully they'll say hello and we can chat back with them and they can answer some questions. But good morning, everyone, and welcome to another JeffCo County Updates live broadcast. I'm Jamie Chavez. I'm your host with the Westminster Chamber of Commerce, and we're super excited to be here today. Excuse me. Joining me is Dave Carpenter, my co-host. He is the vice chairman for the Westminster Chamber Board and also serves as the force behind our Government Affairs Committee. So thanks, Dave, for being here.
Good morning, everybody.
And if this is your first time joining us, thank you. A special welcome to you. Feel free to like our Facebook page so you get notifications for when we go live in the future. And if you're on YouTube, you can subscribe and check out previous broadcasts there as well. And as you watch this broadcast today, please feel free to engage with us. Don't be shy. Drop your comments, ask questions, say hello in the comment section, and we'll address those during the interview. And now I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to JeffCo County Commissioner Tracy Kraft Tharp. Thank you for joining us today. We've kind of been running into each other all over the place for the past week or two, but definitely wanted to thank you for coming to our 10-year anniversary party. It was really a pleasure to have you there.
Oh, it was a great event. Thank you. So one of the things I don't know if they warned you is when we do this, I do a little thing called guest going rogue.
Great.
So I'm going to go rogue, and as we get started, and say welcome to you, Jamie. We're so excited to have you here at the chamber, and it's been a month now.
2 months.
Oh my gosh!
I know. So time flies.
What's your favorite thing that you've done?
Oh gosh, just meeting with people and getting to know everybody in the community and starting to work on partnerships and relationships.
Very cool. And so do you want to say what's your least favorite thing that you've done?
My least favorite thing. These broadcasts are kind of hard for me. I like doing them, but they make me very nervous.
There's millions of people that are watching, so I think we should be
millions.
Millions. Well, we're really thrilled to have you, and you've done an amazing job. Feels like you've been with us forever.
Thank you.
And that's good.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. And good morning, Emilio. We see you there.
And congratulations to the Westminster Chamber. I understand that your president received a recognition from Federal Representative Brittany Pedersen.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Super exciting. Yeah. Great honor for him. Parker's great.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So that's very exciting. So did I throw you totally off?
No, not at all. Usually what I do is just let you jump right in. I know you've got some things that you want to chat about, so we can just go ahead and get started.
Absolutely. I have a list of things. Would encourage people to ask questions and expand on the conversation more if you like. So I just kind of keep a list of things that are happening at Jefferson County through the month that I can bring to you all. So one of the first things is, and you've heard me talk about this before, our district attorney's office does something called Fresh Start. So if you are somebody who has a warrant for your arrest and it's sitting out there, not for something serious like murder, but maybe you didn't make it to a court appearance, or maybe for a traffic ticket. The DA's office does an event called Fresh Start at least 2 times a year that you can go in and get that warrant eliminated. So they had one before Christmas, and 60 people had their warrants cleared.
Wow.
That's great.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
That is.
Mm-hmm. So there'll be another one, I think, this spring. So if you are somebody with a warrant and you want to get that cleared, watch for that. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Jefferson Center for Mental Health. As a county commissioner, primarily what I do is sit on boards of different organizations around the county. So I sit on about 15 boards. One of those is the Jefferson Center for Mental Health, who they absolutely have my total admiration and respect for the amazing work that they do. When years ago, I used to run the Gemini House with Family Tree, the adolescent crisis shelter, and used to work pretty closely with the Jefferson Center for Mental Health. So it's particularly fun for me now to come back and to sit on the board and to really help shape policy and look at how we can increase accessibility. So the days of being able to provide mental health services have really changed. The money is tight. Staffing is really difficult. So get this, there are three child psychiatrists in the state of Colorado.
3.
Only 3?
3. Most of our providers are social workers or psychologists or other degrees, but 3 child psychiatrists.
Wow.
Yes. So a lot of it happened with COVID, that people were not going to school for mental health issues, or people, went and got another job in another field. But staffing is so difficult in this area. And Jefferson Center really has done some amazing creative things in the work that they do. So, for example, if you have a mental health need that's like anxiety, they have an online virtual group with other people, but also with different providers that will be able to help you. Because, and they have that regularly 2 times a week, and you can get in to be seen immediately. So that's just an example of some of the creative work that they've done.
Yeah.
So before Christmas, Jefferson Center announced that they will be merging with an organization called WellPower, and WellPower is the Denver Center for Mental Health. And so that will really expand the extent of services that will be provided in our area, because we will be able to bring on all the creative things that Denver does. The 2 organizations are still negotiating, and it's anticipated that merger will come together July 1st of this year.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yep.
You think there's going to be some cost savings once that all happens, and there's consolidation of facilities or anything like that?
There could be. The goal is not to do cost savings. The goal is to increase access and increase care for people, and increase the variety of services that are offered. And I think that's what we mainly will see.
Got it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's great.
Yeah. Denver is huge. And so the main concern has been, we're merging with this huge, organization, and what will happen to us. What's been really impressive is we've been talking to Denver for about 2 years now about this merger. And what's really impressive is that they really admire a lot of the work that Jefferson Center does, and don't see them as a little guy that they can take over, but really do see them as coming together and sharing the strengths. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, that is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's my Jefferson Center news. Let's talk about social media. So social media is a good source of truth and accuracy, right?
All the time.
All the time, right?
Where I get all my news.
Right. So there's a story going around on social media that Jefferson County has hired a political operative. What's a political operative? Do political operatives wear black and black hats, and are they? So we have hired a political operative who happens to be married to U.S. Representative Brittany Pedersen to do political operative work in the county, specifically to take away people's rights and make sure that we get rid of Tabor. So and that he was offered that because he made political contributions to all 3 county commissioner races. So both Leslie Dahlkemper, Andy Kerr, and myself. That's the story on social media. So I, of course, did some investigative work, and I'm here to report to you the truth directly from the county. So, did the county enter into a contract with Ian Savary and his company, Bighorn? Yes, but not as a political operative, but for his experience in facilitation and his experience in looking at ballot initiatives. So, what Bighorn is, so number one, in entering into that contract, we have a set procurement process that's defined by state statute. And we have to follow that pretty carefully. So, we can't just go out and say, I like you, I think I'm going to hire you. We have to follow a set procedure. That procedure was followed in this circumstance. Did Ian Savary make a campaign contribution to my campaign? Yes. He made $100 contribution. I'll just tell you, Ian did not buy a contract with the county for $100. I mean, that's just...
It would at least be $200 to do that, right?
Even
Kidding,
$200.
kidding.
I mean, this is like a $340,000 contract, and you're going to buy it for $100?
Right.
Really? So no, that did not happen. But did he make campaign contributions as an individual to the 3 county commissioners? Yes, he did. Mm-hmm. And I think it was $100 for each one of us. So, we just want to be totally upfront about that. But all procurement processes were followed. And so what will Ian and his team do? So as you know, we have gone to the ballot twice and looked at asking the citizens to vote on debrucing our Tabor cap. And both times that has failed. The first time was a total debrucing. The last time, last year, was debrucing state grants, saying we can get a state grant that won't count towards our Tabor cap. So we are now looking at what are we going to do now? What's the next step? Because that's the fiscally responsible thing to do, is to look at what we're going to do. So, Jamie, you live in I shouldn't ask you. I assume you live in Jefferson County.
I do.
Did you get a check from us in October?
Yes.
And Mr. Carpenter, I assume you did too?
Yep, we did.
So what that was about is that because of increased property taxes, because your houses are valued more, the county received an additional $42 million. That $42 million put us over our Tabor cap. So we needed to return $39.4 million back to the residents. So that was your checks. This year you got a check for $100. Last year it was $40. The year before it was $4. So naturally you think, if you're returning $39.4 million, Tracy, you must not need that money. Well, unfortunately for the 2025 budget, we're looking at $28 million in deficit. $28 million. And that has nothing to do with how much revenue we're bringing in, because we have a certain Tabor cap. And so if we go over that Tabor cap, we're going to be returning money. At the same time, we're going to be cutting services. So there's 2 things we're doing. One, plan A, hire a consultant. That's the Bighorn group that we're just talking about. And they're talking about, should we go back to the ballot? And what should we go back to the ballot on? Should we talk about total debrucing? Should we talk about partial debrucing? Should we ask for a sales tax? I mean, what should we go to the ballot and ask for? And so they're working with internal staff, but they're also working with the outside community. Westminster Chamber, I think, is on that list that they will be coming and talking to you all. So then they'll be doing some polling, making recommendations, and coming to the Board of County Commissioners with recommendations before end of July. So that's plan A. Plan B is this month in January, we have 3 full days of budget hearings in which we are meeting with each one of our departments. We have asked each department to put together a proposal for a 12% cut. 12%. That's a lot. But we don't want to be stuck in a situation where if we don't get a recommendation to go to the ballot, we don't decide to go to the ballot, or we go to the ballot and it fails, then we go, oh, what do we do now? So we're asking our departments to put that information together now so we are prepared in case any of those situations happen. So just to recap, did we hire a political operative? No. Did we hire a political operative to get rid of Tabor? No. No decision has been made. There is no such thing as getting rid of Tabor. It's about debrucing and changing our Tabor cap. Have decisions been made that that's what we're going to do? No. So, and when we hired the Bighorn Group and Ian Savari, did he make campaign contributions? Yes. But did he get this contract as a favor from people? No. He went through the standard procurement procedures that Mr. Carpenter, you would have to go to if you wanted to be our consultant.
Sure. Our regular request for proposal, RFP or RFQ type of qualification system, probably blindly selected by staff, not by the county commissioners until you got them all presented at the end of the day.
Well, that exactly. We did not see all of the different contracts. So you could have applied, and I just don't know.
Yeah.
But don't tell me if you did, okay?
Well, I am wearing black, so I guess I could be a political operative. Just kidding.
But do you have the hat? You need the black hat.
I left my black hat at home, darn it.
That's what political operatives do. There are people that are saying that we've gone to the ballot twice and asked for a change on debrucing. So why don't you listen? Why don't you just listen to what people have to say? And why are you going back again? Well, number one, I think Tabor went to the ballot how many times? Do you know that, Dave?
Oh, at least 3, I believe, not more.
I'm remembering 3. So it's pretty standard for things to go to the ballot numerous times.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone to the ballot twice, but on 2 different things. And there's a lot of people in Jefferson County that don't know what Tabor is. How would you know? I would, if I moved here, I would think it was a beer. I mean, and it's so complicated. How would you know? So part of this is really education around having people understand what Tabor means.
And anyone who wants to at least get a start, Article 20 of our Colorado Constitution is the foundational level of Tabor. And then there's mounds of white papers beyond that if you really want to get in the financial details.
I love you, but no one's going to go to the Constitution and try to figure out what it is. I would Google Tabor because I think there's some, except for you, I think there's some plain language descriptions of what it is. But basically, Tabor limits it's like a water can. So the water can fills up with all the revenue that we get in. And then when it gets to the top, anything over the top, which is our Tabor cap, has to be refunded. That's real plain language.
Yeah, and it grows with population and inflation.
Yes, but during COVID, we ratcheted down, our Tabor cap ratcheted down $14 million because of the loss in revenue because everybody was in their houses. So we went backwards during COVID. People have asked why we don't reduce the mills, the property tax mills. If we did, it would ratchet down our Tabor cap even more. So we're already in a jam that we're not able to cover our expenses. So we don't want to go backwards more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for explaining that for anyone watching that may have had some questions about it.
More information than people want to know. But Mr. Carpenter, I imagine you have some questions?
Well, I mean, I think you explained it right for now. I think I know I also sit on the JeffCo Planning Commission, so I know that we got a presentation as well about the budget cuts and everything that are coming. And yeah, I think I'm glad that there's a community update or community process coming, so you can make your case to the public or find out what the public is willing to tolerate or what services are going to cut, because
Yep.
I'm all for cutting government, but cutting 10% or 12% without being targeted, and that isn't necessarily the best way to do it.
Well, the problem is people want more services, but they don't want their taxes to increase. That's the problem. And so what we are looking at is what's the core services? What are we statutorily mandated? Brian Head is here. Oh my gosh. I hope he brought breakfast. So there's core services that we are statutorily mandated to provide. Anything else are fun things. So when people call us and say, why aren't you plowing my road? Well, you know what? Some of that really is the fun stuff that we do that we're not able to do in a Tabor world. Okay. No other questions from you?
No other real questions at this point. When do you have the meeting set, or do you have kind of a timeline as far as when we're going to be able to see some of these so the public and our members can get involved? I mean, obviously the chamber as an organization may be part of that. Is there going to be public meetings as well?
The 3 budget meetings are public. They're this month. One was Wednesday of this week. The other 2 will be Wednesday and Thursday of next week. I know that the Bighorn Group has put together an outreach plan, and I don't know if those dates are set, but they will all be public meetings.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I don't have any more questions at this time on that subject. Do you, Jamie?
No, I have a question for you, but if you're still moving through your list, let's get through that first.
Okay, but I'll move through my list, and then if your question seems a little more relevant, then just stop me, okay?
My questions are always just fun, so you go ahead.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So good news. Last weekend, it was cold, Martin Luther King weekend. And congratulations to the city of Westminster, to Jefferson County, and all of the other municipalities in the county. People really came together and worked hard to provide severe weather resources. So Lakewood had a new facility, a new navigation center opened that is run by Recovery Works over on Colfax. Severe Weather Network had 4 severe weather sites that were open, and City of Westminster opened up a building over there by the MAC. The building over by the MAC was really helpful because it has a capacity of 40, but if need be, they could put in up to 100. What that did is that took the pressure off of everybody, that if we got more people, we have a place, because this is really pretty high pressure. Last year, Severe Weather Network had 4 facilities, but they only had 1 open because they just were not getting people to come in and use the facilities. In addition to those facilities, there also was motel vouchers. I know the county gave out motel vouchers. City of Westminster did about 20 motel vouchers. I think there were about 100 people that were put in the Sheridan the last night when it was cold one more night. So just a big congratulations to the county. Everyone worked together, really pulled together. And a special thank you to our county manager, Joe Kirby, who really was kind of a point person coordinating all of the efforts. And he worked all weekend long. I feel bad for his wife on that. But big thank you to him, and big thank you to the City of Westminster. Okay? So that's the good news. So now let's go to the yucky news again.
Oh, no.
Sim Street. Yes. Sim Street is closed, and it will be closed for another year. So we are working on that Verve development right on the corner of Sims and 128. And I'll tell you, as much as everybody is unhappy about it, I am unhappy by 10, because that's the avenue that I use to go north. We will be pleased when it is done, because it will turn into a larger road that we'll be able to go up there a little more easy. And it'll be really help with that new development at the Verve. So, yes, it's a nightmare. It's yucky, and it is what it is. But we're in the middle of it.
I will second that. I'm still optimistic that they will open it ahead of schedule, because I'll tell you, yesterday afternoon at 5 p.m. at Wadsworth and 108th, traffic was backed up for more than a third of a mile trying to make a left turn to go north on Wadsworth, because there's no way to go up Sims anymore.
Yes, it is. It's not a good situation. And so you might want to even look at going over to Indiana
Mhm.
and then going across that way. That might be better. But you're right. And especially when they start building that pickleball restaurant on 108th and Wadsworth, it's going to be a mess for a while.
Mhm. Yep.
Yes.
Yep, exactly. And just a curious, another question. I know they've been some traffic control signs that seem to show up and get put up and then close down again. Is the county really in charge or paying attention to the contractor as far as putting up road close signs where they end up? I know we had a couple over the holidays. I reached out to Councilor DeMott and he asked the question about them where they threw them up on 108th where it wasn't closed, for example, saying the road closed through traffic, and sometimes they show up on like Westmore and then they get taken down, then they get put back up. And
Is that kids doing that?
See, I don't know if it's kids or the contractor. I just know it happened.
Right. I'll mention it to our staff.
Mhm.
I doubt that they're paying that close attention to it, but I'll mention it to our staff.
Yep, sounds good. Yeah, but
Okay.
otherwise, yes. Fingers crossed that this
Fingers
opens soon.
crossed. Yes. So we have about 3 minutes left. And so one of the other boards I sit on is the Airport Community Noise Roundtable. So just two pieces of news about the airport and the roundtable. One is the roundtable has hired a consultant, and that consultant has been working with different communities around where the noise impact is from airplanes, and meeting with the flight schools and meeting with the FAA, and will be coming back to us, I think, in Thursday, February 1st at 6:00. It's a virtual and a live meeting on their report. Recommendations of egress, degress of planes that will help reduce that noise level of the planes. We'll see what he's able to come up with and what he's able to put together. So just to give people an update on that. The Airport Advisory Board has 4 open positions because we had 4 members that did resign. Those positions are open until January 31st. So there's specific categories that people need to fit in those positions, and I'm trying to. 2 of them, I think, are business owners in the airport impact area, and heck, I don't remember what the other one is, but that's all online. One of the pieces of feedback that we received from someone that used to serve on the board is that he did not have an aviation background. And so when he left the board early, one of the things he said to me was, Tracy, you got to get people that have aviation background and at least understand the language and at least understand the concepts, because otherwise they just can't be as helpful as they can be. So I know I will be looking for people who, in addition to the other categories, understand the aviation world. We're not looking for somebody to be a cheerleader for the airport, but we're not looking for somebody to be an advocate against the airport. This is an advisory board to look at different concepts that the airport manager brings to them to be able to provide advice and recommendations.
And you said it was January 31st is the deadline?
I think that's January 31st is the deadline.
Yeah, maybe we can send that out, link to that out in our chamber chatter, Jamie. So in case any of our members want to consider themselves qualified, apply.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, I think I've gone through my list. And Jamie, you got a fun question in our last minute?
Yeah, I would just like to know what you're currently reading for fun.
Oh, no. That's a bad question. I read a lot, but
Not so much for fun.
I'm one of these people, when I wake up in the middle of the night, I read a couple pages. And right now I'm going through the Colleen Hoover books.
Okay.
Yeah. So I kind of find an author and go through all of them. So I'm going through those books.
Yeah, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all I had. Dave, do you have any other questions?
I just one other thing on the airport really quickly. I noticed, obviously there was a city council meeting the other night where they discussed the noise roundtable, and they mentioned the former airport executive who left. Is there any comment that you can actually have on that as far as what happened with him? I know he's had some people didn't like the comments he made to the community. I don't know if there's anything you can say about the reasons for his departure or anything like that.
So it's difficult for me to say anything because it is a personnel issue. And it would be betraying the trust of both of our human resources department, but also Mr. Anselo himself. What I will say is I appreciated working with Mr. Anselo in the 3 years I've been a county commissioner. The guy was a Marine, Marine Air One pilot with Bush and Clinton. He was a hero in this country, and we need to recognize that. He brought to the airport a number of very creative, innovative ideas of moving us forward. I understand people are not real pleased with noise and lead, and he was kind of the centerpiece around that, and I feel bad about that. The actual incident of what happened, I really can't comment on out of respect for both him, but also the county process.
Of course, I just with all the information out there, just wanted to give you a chance to say your 2 cents.
Thank you.
As best you can.
It's really tough. And, there's a lot of people that are very upset about some comments that he made. I will say that's not reflective of the county's position of the noise roundtable. The county is fully invested in the noise roundtable. I'm the member on that, and I have attended every meeting in the last 3 years, including last March when I had tickets to Bruce Springsteen, and so attended the meeting virtually at the Bruce Springsteen concert. Now that's dedication.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well,
Okay. Well, just want to thank you for joining us today. Remind everybody that you will be back at the end of February and whole new things to talk about. So thank you again.
Absolutely. And I encourage people to follow me on Tracy for JeffCo on Facebook, where a lot of these items you'll get more information, or contact me if you have questions or you want more information.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.